Hi people, welcome back to English Literature channel. And this is group 1 are going to elaborate about gender theory. All causes, social and natural, combine to make it unlikely that women should be collectively rebellious to the power of men. They are so far in a position different from all other subject classes that their masters require something more from them than actual service. Men do not want solely the obedience of women, they want their sentiments. By John Stuart Mill, The Subjection of Woman in 1869. So, what is the definition of gender theory? Based on Julie A. in 2014, Gender Theory and Michaelis A. C. edition Encyclopedia of Quality of Life and Well-being Research, gender theory is the study of what is understood as masculine and or feminine and or queer behavior in any given context, community, society, or field of study, including but not limited to literature, history, sociology, education, applied linguistics, religion, health science, philosophy, and cultural studies. Many people ask to differentiate between sex and gender. Let's say the term sex refers to categories of the biologically observable human body, female or male, or intersex, or nature. Let's say the biological features separating male and female. Male and female variation in chromosomes, anatomy, hormones, reproductive system, and other physiological components are illustrated by this description. While the term gender refers to those social, cultural, and psychological traits linked to males and females through particular social contexts, including the categories of social expectation, roles, and behaviors, feminine or masculine, or what is nurtured. Some argue, however, that even biological sex is socially constructed, that masculine and feminine behavior may be rooted in physiology as well. By Halberstam in 1998, Sterling in 2000. The study of gender appeared in the 20th century as one of the most significant developments in the social science and continues today.
The sociological perspective on gender. It divides into three-level analysis. The first is a macro-sociological view of gender roles, and it draws attention to large-scale social patterns that are distinguished by the gender, such as labor, educational, and political developments. And the second is a micro. For example, a micro-sociological gender perspective is primarily relational, concentrating on small groups and also the details of gender interactions occurring between partners and in families and also in peer groups. The third is a meso-sociological gender perspective, and it draws attention to the meaning that can influence all social contact and associated with broader cultural norms. One of the scholars of gender study is John William Money. He was a New Zealand American psychologist who was born on 8 of July 1921 until 7 July 2006. He was a sexologist and author specializing in research into sexual identity and biology of gender. He was one of the first researchers to publish theories on the influence of societal construct of gender on individual formations of gender identity. He introduced the terms of gender identity, gender role, and also the sexual orientation. He was also the co-editor of 1969 book called Transsexualism and Sex Reassignment, which helped bring more acceptance to sexual reassignment surgery and also the transgender individuals. The other impact of his theory on the treatment of intersex people is also featured in his documentary called Intersection.
The next is how to apply this theory to the literature. Gender defines who and what we are. For example, the first demarcation we make is whether the baby is a girl or a boy. And then, we often associate this biological sexual distinction with given gender distinctions. Girls are often put in pink, while boys are in blue. Male and female infants are put in gender-appropriate clothing to highlight the sex of the baby. This quick example situates us in feminist and gender criticism, which are powerful theories that allow literary critics to examine sex and gender in various texts. According to the book Reading Literary Analysis Section 4.5, feminist and gender criticism are powerful literary methods that you can use to analyze literature. Be guided by the following process as you write your feminist or gender criticism paper. First, carefully read the work you will analyze. Second, formulate a general question after your initial reading that identifies a problem, that addresses a key issue relevant to feminist, queer theory, or masculinity studies. Third, reread the work, paying particular attention to the question you pose. Take notes, which should be focused on your central question. Write an exploratory journal entry or blog post that allows you to play with ideas. Fourth, construct a working thesis that makes a claim about the work and accounts for the following. What does the work mean? How does the work artistically demonstrate a theme? So what is significant about the work? Fifth, reread the text to gather textual evidence for support. What literary devices are used to achieve the theme? Sixth, construct an informal outline that demonstrates how you will support your interpretation. Seventh, write a first draft. Eighth, receive feedback from peers and your instructor via peer review and conferencing with your instructor, if possible. Before the last, revise the paper, which will include revising your original thesis statement and restructuring your paper to best support the thesis. And last, edit and proofread for correctness, clarity, and style.
The next is, what cases are compatible to be analyzed? Gender criticism is an extension of feminist literary criticism, focusing not just on women but also on the construction of gender and sexuality, especially LGBTQ issues, which gives rise to queer theory. Gender criticism suggests that power is not just top-down or patriarchal, like a man dominating a woman. It suggests that power is multifaceted and never just in one direction. For example, in the 19th century, while many women argued for suffrage or the right to vote, at the same time, those very women who were white could be dominating or holding power African Americans in the African slave system. In the 19th century, many white women were pictured as angelic, ideal, and the angel in the house who protected men from cruel world of commerce. But that idealized view of women is incomplete given that we know from diaries and other historical evidence that white women could have sexual longing, treat others barbarically, or even be sadistic and murderous. This identity is complicated and rich, involving much more than gender alone. It is the intersections of variety of things, including geographical location, age, race, class, nationality, ability, and sexuality as well as gender, that make up our identities.